Good evening fuckers, we are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video, and this one was requested by me again. I tend to get most of the requests around the weekend time, that's if I get any at all. We could well have entered the stage where they've just totally dried up now. So yeah, I thought, right, I'll do another one of my own. So for this one, we are on the northernmost line within the UK that is available in the game. So yeah, we are on the Kyle line, way up in the Scottish Highlands. We're not going to do the whole thing though, because that will take about 3 hours. So we are going to go to the northernmost station on this line. So we're starting at Inverness, which is the major, probably the one major town on the entire line. And we are going to Dingwall, which is not an insignificant sort of town, but yeah, it's not huge, but it is the northernmost stop on this line. Now, Inverness to Dingwall, if you were to go as the crow flies, is barely 7 or 8 miles. The thing is, because of the terrain and that around here, this route is anything but as the crow flies. In fact, for I'd say at least a quarter of it, we are going in completely the wrong direction. We're heading south as opposed to north. So it means that the journey is roughly 18.5 miles. So yeah, considerably longer than if we were taking a direct route there. But this is the only rail route that there is between the two, so this is the one we're going on. Now, as far as the loco, originally I was going to take the most modern diesel that I could, and then I changed my mind. We're going to stick with early diesels. So we have gone with the Class 24, which is a favourite of mine, and rather surprisingly hasn't appeared in any videos yet. So it's time we fix that. We're taking 3 coaches, which is the lowest amount of coaches that I can take with this particular loco. I'll also add that for the route, we're going to stop at all stops, which means that we will be stopping at, now it's either Beauly or Beauly it's pronounced. I don't know which. It really looks like Beauly, so I'm going to stick with that. I don't know if it's right or not. And that station has the shortest platform of any station in Britain, and probably the UK as well. And believe me, it is short. So yeah, that plus, well, so we're not going to be doing a hell of a lot of the Kyle line, so I'm sure we're going to see some decent scenery, but not all of it by any stretch. So as far as the rest of the details, it's going to be a sort of cloudy spring day, and we are starting at 11:30 AM. Right, let's get this show on the road. Okay, here we are in the cab of the good old Class 33. Unfortunately, we don't have the greatest of views from here, apart from on the side, especially when it clips through like that, which it does quite badly. Let's take a look outside. Yeah, I do like how the Class 24 looks. Great looking too. So I'll sort out the lights, which is not going to take very long. We'll wait for the passengers to all board. So Dingwall is 18.73 miles away. But it's still set to take us about half an hour to get there. So everyone is on board. I'm going to have to try and ignore this annoying clipping. I hate that it does it, but yeah. Right, off we go. Class 24 is definitely not the loco that would normally be doing this route. Normally it would be a 37. But I fancied using something a bit different. And the 24 has a bit of a reputation for being a bit weedy and a bit down on power. It has a Salzer engine, and yeah, the Salzer engined diesels were frequently sort of like kind of dismissed, but in fact they can, you know, they can pull pretty hefty loads. This 3 carriages that I've got here is absolutely nothing, and I do like the sound that these this engine makes. So you end up with what is a properly decent train. So we're into a 25 mph section now, which is very welcome. Very soon we'll be able to do 50. So as we cross the, I don't know which firth it is. It's not the Moray firth, but I'm not sure which one it is. Moray firth is the other side of Inverness. So we're able to do 50 for a while. Then we come up to this 10 mph section where we are going over what looks like a very flimsy looking bridge indeed. It's also very, very small, so yeah, I guess because it's so small they decided not to bother with anything like strengthening it, or, you know, reinforcing it, or rebuilding it with something else. You know, it looks like it's made of a few planks of wood. Anyway, let's coast for a bit because we are fast approaching this 10 mph section, less than half a mile away. So I think the first station that we come to is something like about 8 or 9 miles from Inverness. Slowed down way too much. I don't really want to just be creeping along at 10 miles an hour for the next quarter of a mile, so yeah, we'll just apply the brakes again as we get closer. Again, really overdid the braking, as I tend to always do. So if we take a look, this tiny bridge, okay, maybe it's not quite as, you know, looking like it's made out of some old planks of wood as I said, but nevertheless, this is the reason why it's only 10 mph going over here. So it looks very much like the entrance to the Grand Union Canal. The Grand Union, the Caledonian Canal. So it looks like the entire train is now over it in much. Yeah, it is now. So it certainly won't be long before we will be able to do 65. Not before time. There we go. Let's put it straight into fog throttle and get some proper speed up. I'm fairly sure this section we are on, this 65 mph section, this must be the fastest part of the entire Kyle line. And the vast majority of it is just a single track. Well, there's no getting away from it. It's not miraculous that they were able to build any kind of sort of railway system in this sort of terrain. So the fact that, yeah, at the moment we're going in completely the opposite direction to what we need to, you can kind of understand it, because considering, you know, we're having to get past all these locks and that first, and then turn round and finally start heading north again. Some exterior shots. Last time I was in Scotland, I was actually in Inverness. It's a fantastic town. I really like it there. It's definitely somewhere I want to go to again. So it's 45 mph section that we are fast approaching. Yeah, we didn't need to do a great deal to make sure we stay below that speed limit. So we never got close to the 65 limit. So we can coast for a bit, but we do have, yeah, we are on a downward gradient, or we were. I think we're about to hit another downward gradient, which is going to be a downside steeper than the one in 798 that we're on at the moment. And I think our speed will pick up a bit then. So I can't remember if I said on the intro, but this is a we're going to make this all stops run. Now that 65 is still showing us the top speed, so okay, I'm happy to go along with that. Soon find out if it, yeah, it is 65, so we do have another speed reduction, a very small speed reduction section. So max speed will be 50. This is coming up in about a mile and a half, but yeah, for a very short while before we can then go back up to 65 again. It looks like that section where we can only do 50 is barely the length of the train route. So let's start coasting again. I don't think we're going to lose enough speed to not have to brake. But I must admit, when it comes to like the Scottish lines in this game, you really are spoilt for choice as far as you know, great scenic routes. You got this one, you've got the West Highland line south, you've also got the additional extension to that, and then you've got the western lines of Scotland. You know, they're all fantastic, and even the ones that may not instantly sort of like strike you as being particularly scenic, like the Glasgow to Edinburgh one. Yeah, I mean, take your pick. You can't lose with any of them. But I am particularly keen on the Highlands, so we're about to enter the 50 mph section. I genuinely have no idea why that was a 50 mph section. So now we're back to 65 again. We'll full throttle. Now why was that there? Well, that has just come past, I think is one of the radio receivers that would tell us if there's any request stops, you know, and we would, you know, yeah, any passengers who have contacted the rail network, and they're passing on requests to stop at particular stations. Like I say, this hopefully is going to be an all stops one. I'm hoping the stations will appear on the route. We have already gone through one that had me wondering, And our distance from Dingwall also has me wondering, so, well, we'll see what happens anyway. But I think once you leave Inverness, every single station is a request stop until you actually reach Cardiff Lockhouse. So you have a 55 max speed reduction coming up. Now, does that mean that there is a station nearby? And if it does, it looks like they are not appearing on the right on cue. Yep, so it is Beauly that's coming up, the shortest platform of any railway station in Britain. Kind of get that impression when you look at the route display there. But we are going to stop there. So yeah, just coasting along means we're well below the 55 limit that we are fast approaching. So we are in that 55 mph section now. Beauly station is about 2/3 of a mile away. To start braking a bit, perhaps not 60%, but well. This is Beauly station coming up here. All of this sort of area, yeah, is not actually part of it. As you can see from the fact that, yeah, it's not classed as part of the stop on the route map. But here it is. That, yeah, that is it. Now, obviously, yeah, the loco has gone straight past it. But yeah, that is the whole thing. So I think we might be able to see if any of the doors are actually open. No, none of them have. I mean, yeah, that is pretty crazy. So it's not even, it's roughly the size of half a carriage. So yeah, Anyway, let's hope that we are able to get going again. Yep, there we go. Now, I can't remember what any of the other stations are. I mean, there's only 2 more between here and Dingwall, so I think one is Muir of Ord, something like that. Less than half a mile before we are back in a 65 mph section. I'm pretty sure this train can do 65 mph. It might be pretty close to the top end for the old Class 24, but I'm fairly sure it can do it. So there we are in the 65 mph section now. We've got another very small section coming up, or very slow I should say section coming up. 15 mph, but that is because there is another station there. So that is Muir of Ord. So again, it would be another request stop, but we will stop there. Again, letting us know, yeah, the next radio signals would be coming in to let us know if we are required to stop here, if there are any requests for it. But like I say, we're going to stop here anyway. So we'll coast for a bit. I suspect we will yeah, we will need the brake when it comes to yeah, getting our speed down to that 15. It's still half a mile away, so we certainly don't need to start braking yet. And this 1 in 99 upward climb certainly is doing its bit to make sure we slow down at a fair old rate. Okay, so did slow down a little early. Something certainly not as bad as I usually do. So I have a feeling we are going to be No, we're not going to be, I thought we were going to be changing the line over those points, but nope. So I have a feeling we are going to be able to get the whole train on this platform pretty easily, actually. After the last one, I didn't think that there would be too many, if any, stations of this sort of size. So there we are. Quite a few getting off and getting on here. But this is Muir of Ord station. Right, away we go. Well, once the brakes are actually off. Here we go. I'll certainly be glad once we're out of this 15 mph section and we're able to once again get back up to 65. There we go, so we're now able to do 65 mph. These houses, their back gardens back directly onto the line. Mind you, there is only, I believe, only one train per day that does this line. Now, that can't be right, but yeah, that's what I read. One train per day. Right, while we're getting our speed back up, I can heat up another ICOS. So Dingwall is now only 5 miles away. We do have one more station between here and the final destination. Right, it looks like we may be picking up a decent amount of speed fairly soon, as we've got quite a hefty downhill section coming up. And then we have the next station, which is Conan Bridge. That is the last station before we reach our destination. Conan Bridge looks like it's a seriously small one as well. Coast this now. We're not gaining speed, which is surprising. We are on a 1 in 106 downhill section. It's now 1 in 118. In fact, we are losing speed. So I think I'm going to need to brake early and fairly heavily to make up for this downwards slope, as well as our speed. Still managed to brake too early. So this station is, yeah, another one that is so small. Here it is. Clearly another request stop. And clearly, okay, this one might even be as long as one carriage, but yeah, it's so small, I don't think it's even worth me trying to let anyone on or off here. So we'll just keep going. Two and a half miles to Dingwall station. I think we can quite clearly see Dingwall in the background there, in the distance. We do have a 40 mph section coming up, and we're not going to be doing anything like 40 when we enter it. So here we are, so 40 mph now. And we are fast approaching 40 mph. I assume this is Conan Bridge itself. Lost a fair bit of speed already. Gonna have to coast just a little bit. We just entered the 65 mph section. And now we can do 65, so So Dingwall station then just a mile away. We will have to slow to 15 as we are approaching it. It's clearly a much larger station than well, most of the others that we have stopped at on this route. Although that's not exactly setting a very high bar. So we're a third of a mile from the 15 mph section. We'll start applying some brakes, maybe a bit more than we are. Frames per second took a bit of a hit as we approach here. As always, really overdone the braking and yeah, left them on for far too long. Jesus Christ, not even doing 10 here. I wonder if the 15 means we are going over the, well, we are going over the points, but no, we're not changing line. So here we are, easily the largest station on the Kyle line. Well, not including the terminus at Dingwall, at Inverness. I can't even imagine the Kyle of Lochhouse station is as big as this. But that is, you can even see the Ross County football stadium there. But that is Inverness to Dingwall. So it's not even close to being the entire length of the Kyle of Lochhouse line, but that would take quite a while. Although I suspect, having seen this, there's probably going to be a request to see the whole thing relatively soon. And it does, it looks fantastic, so I can't say I would blame anyone for requesting it. So let's see how we did. I'm pretty sure I didn't have any issues. No, none at all. So there we are, Inverness to Dingwall in a class 24 train. Fairly short, but it could have been a hell of a lot shorter if they could have done a direct connection between the two. So if you have a request for a particular route and stroke or a particular train, then click on the link in the description, bung your request in the comments, and I can certainly say it will be done, providing it's a route and or a train that I have. Okay, we shall see you in the next one.